Is the best decade of football? Which era was the most talented? These are questions football fans have been asking forever. The only way to determine this is to take the best players from each decade, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and the 2000s, and put them on the field in a tournament to determine the greatest NFL era. This is the NFL All-Decade Tournament. Final of the All-Decade Tournament is finally here. The Super Bowl between the 2000s and the 70s. There can only be one decade to take the crown. The players to watch for Team 70s. At quarterback, Roger the Dodger Staubach. Captain America, the Cowboys legend, brings the All-70s team a quarterback with a wild style of play who's known for the most improbable comeback wins. He was also very efficient for his time, finishing the second highest rated passer of all time by the time he retired. The running backs will be heavily relied on for Team 70s. The decade was full of incredible talent at the position. The team will have a deadly 1-2 punch. The starter being O.J. Simpson, the ultimate blend of speed, power, and vision. An absolute monster on the football field. Not to mention, the fastest player to gain 2,000 yards in a season. Team Simpson up with Earl Campbell, one of the strongest backs in NFL history. That every time you hit the man, you would lower your IQ. He would hit defenders like he played on defense, rushing for 19 touchdowns in 1979. He will be amongst the best goal line backs in the tournament. The defense is the real strength of this squad, especially their front seven, who's headlined by their linebackers. Let's start with arguably the greatest middle linebacker in NFL history, and the most intimidating force on the team, Dick Butkus. Partner Butkus' skull-crushing tackles and attitude with the smarts and winning experience of Jack Lambert, the toothless wonder who is the driving force behind the steel curtain. Start with the introductions of each team, starting with Team 2000s for their players to watch, starting with none other than their quarterback, arguably the greatest quarterback of all time, 4-time Super Bowl champion, 2-time MVP, 2-time Super Bowl MVP, numerous records to his name, the highest winning percentage in NFL history, Tom Brady. Tom Brady will lead Team 2000s in their aerial attack with his incredible accuracy and his passion for the game. At running back, the 2000s hold the single season record leader for most touchdowns in a season. That is none other than Ladanian Tomlinson, LT, with his great vision, his incredible strength and quickness. LT is one of the most complete running backs in NFL history. 2000s arguably have one of the best duos at wide receiver in this entire tournament, starting with Mr. Randy Moss, the deep threat, the greatest deep threat of all time. The combination of skill, size, speed, hands. Randy Moss has it all, and he's going to bring a unique athleticism to this team. Then on the other side, you have Terrell Owens. Not only is he one of the best at touchdown celebrations, but he is up there in every single list in catches, in touchdowns, in yards. T.O.'s aggression, physicality, and swagger will be a huge boost to this team. On the other side of the ball for Team 2000s, they feature two Ravens that will lead this defense to the promised land. Free safety Ed Reed is the definition of a playmaker. His smarts and his chemistry with his middle linebacker will be huge for this team. Speaking of his middle linebacker is none other than Ray Lewis. Now, not only can Ray Lewis deliver great pregame speeches, he's a ferocious tackler, he's very smart, he's super athletic, and does he hit hard. Ray Lewis can pretty much do it all, and he's going to set up the defense in the right play at the right time. Here are the other starters on the teams on both offense and defense. Previously on the All-Decade Tournament. It was all Team 2000s. Last time these two met on both sides of the ball, the game was dominated. The defense caused turnover after turnover, and the 70s offense was never able to get a rhythm going. While the offense continued their one successful strategy, throw the ball to Randy Moss, he had a huge game, catching 2 big-time touchdowns in the round-robin game. The Super Bowl introductions, both teams out to prove who the superior decade is, who has the greater offense, who has the greater defense. You gotta love the Super Bowl coin toss. Everything that is on this stage just becomes one more notch of intense. The first quarter is all about these dominant defenses. Roger tries to go back to his bread and butter that has been so successful for him in this tournament, the deep ball, but it's taken away by Champ Bailey on the jump ball interception for Team 2000s. On the other side of the ball, the 70s pass rush is causing the Pats fits early as Jack Hamm gets to Brady on a crucial 3rd and 6 play. In the middle of the second, though, we finally get a glimpse of this offensive firepower as we see the first score come off a post to Randy Moss, who breaks 2 tackles. Get off me, son. He gone all the way to the house. Randy Moss makes it 7-0 for the 2000s. Later in that second, the 70s have themselves a successful drive on the arm of Roger Staubach, uncharacteristically dinking and dunking, taking what the defense is giving him and getting into 2000s territory before being sacked on this 3rd down play by Dwight Freeney, who beats his blocker with a little speed and a little finesse. The 70s make it 7-3. With 34 seconds left in the first half, Brady takes over at his 41-yard line, looking to grab a field goal to go into halftime. Tom hits Harrison for a 1st down and then launches one down the middle of the field and connects with Tony Gonzalez for a huge gain, putting the team in field goal range. But terrible clock management by the Patriots costs the team. The 70s keep the clock running and the time runs out before Vinatieri can kick the ball into the uprights. The 3rd quarter sees a major momentum shift. On the first drive, Staubach drives almost the length of the field before being picked off by Brian Urlacher, who may have just made the biggest play of the all-decade Super Bowl, halting the 70s on this drive. But the 70s still have another chance because their defense at this point is keeping them in the game in a super defensive battle. It's the 2000s defense which causes enough pressure to force a strip sack on Staubach. Brian Urlacher once again with Dwight Freeney getting the garbage, bringing it all the way back for another 2000 score, making the game 14-3, giving the 2000s a healthy 2-score lead. On the 70s' very next drive after the turnover, the offense cannot regain momentum as Warren Sapp comes in to sack number 12, bringing up a 4th and 12 for the offense. The Patriots offense makes one more, and all they needed was just one more impact play on offense to make it very hard for a comeback as Tom Brady hits Randy Moss in stride between a couple of defenders and puts the team in range to tack on another field goal. The 70s refuse to give up though, as with 2 minutes left in the game, they come up with a very last effort drive, but unfortunately, 2000's defense was just too good on this day. Troy Polamalu snatches the rock away from the receiver and picks it off, clinching the victory for Team 2000s. Team 2000s celebrate with the confetti falling from the sky. The 2000s proved game after game they were the best decade football has ever seen, with electrifying offense and a playmaking defense. The Super Bowl MVP is named to Dwight Freeney, who came up with the game-changing fumble return. Brady, Moss, and Bill celebrate the Super Bowl they have never won together and are officially named Super Bowl champions. If you were wondering how I simulated this, I used a website called whatifsports.com to get the most accurate simulations. Thank you guys so much for watching this series. I really appreciate it. If you enjoyed, please leave a like and subscribe for more sports content on the Bottom Line View. Who do you guys think's the best decade in NFL history? Let me know. It's Mitch of the Bottom Line View. Peace out.